persons who are being prosecuted. Some of them are more than 10. In fact, there is one case in the Western North. There are 28 minors that are involved in that prosecution. So the 65 dockets, by my calculation, contains about 600 persons that are illegal minors that are being prosecuted.
You know, yes, I have the power to do it, but the president acts on the authority, not only on the authority, on the advice of the National Security Council. And as at now, this moment, the National Security Council believes that we can win the fight against Galamsey without a state of emergency. I want to assure you that the day they advise me otherwise, that, boss, now we need a state of emergency, I will not hesitate in declaring a state of emergency. But we do still think that we have the powers to be able to win this fight. And as we deploy more troops and we apply more resources to the fight, I'm sure that gradually we'll begin to see that we're winning the fight.
And thanks for staying with us here on Prime Insight. So you had the president there pointing out what his plan is with regard to the state of emergency. Well, civil society believes that the president should do that. He says it should be informed by the security agencies. And once that is triggered, he would allow that to pass, the state of emergency. But for now, it will be a militarized operation led by NIMOS, which is the Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Secretariat, which is now being formed by government. So here's what I want us to do. We'll come to my in-studio guest shortly and also tell you about the audience who we have. Because we have a wide range of audience drawn from civil society, some of the universities, and some emerging leaders who are all joining us in studio. But what I want to do now is to get an appreciation of civil society on this very address by the president and the engagement yesterday. There was one man who joined civil society in asking the president a few questions. Dr. Solomon also is with us in studio. And he, in fact, asked the question yesterday. He's a mining consultant from the United States, a Ghanaian, of course, so he's making us proud out there. But, Doc, good morning to you and welcome to the studios. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so you were there, correct? I'm interested in hearing your take on the arrangement, first of all, or the decision by the president to engage civil society. Do you think it was a healthy exercise? Because prior to this meeting, some in the civil society space were of the opinion that, well, it's not going to be helpful, it's going to be another talk shop, let's not do this. But at the end of the day, would you say that this has been justified?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it was good that the presidency met the civil society organization groups to let them know what they are doing so far and his reasons for not declaring the state of emergency. I think I will say over 90% of the people there listening to the ministers and then the president, we were all impressed about the work done so far. Some of the stuff that we didn't know from afar, they disclosed to us, and then we were all happy about what is going on right now. But I will say that it's not enough because Ghanaians want to see results. And what are the results? Reclaiming the degraded lands and then restoring the water bodies for us to drink good water. That's what Ghanaians want to see. Nobody is against mining. Mining has been with us for decades. But how we can do it responsibly such that their operations will be environmentally friendly to protect our water bodies and our land. That's what we are all looking up to. We heard about we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. Yeah. The question is, when are they doing? They've been 8 months, 9 months in office. And I must be honest with you that Ghanaians are not seeing anything different from what the MPP left. They need to do more. They need to expedite their processes and make sure that they address the problem. So it was a good call, in my view.
You asked a question there What was your question? And do you believe the president did justice to your question?
The president didn't answer my question. No, did you hear him answering the question? I was there when you tested me, meaning you were watching, right? The president didn't answer my question. Or am I lying? The minister didn't answer my question. Because
okay, what was your question?
They didn't have any answer to the question.
For the benefit of those who didn't listen to that question.
I've shared the video with your producer. Let him put it there. The video is there. Let him put it there. You see?
Yeah.
My brother, we need to be serious in this country. We've been pampering these Chinese guys for so long. MPP did same. And these guys are repeating the same mistake. I like President Mahama. I campaigned for him. I spent money. I spent my resources. I was not sleeping. You know, anytime you call me, I'm awake, campaigning seriously for the president. Because the MPP messed up with the mining, and we could see that they didn't have any solution to it. And they were not ready to listen. Now, you are in there. When I asked the question about Aisha 1, I asked one in April 2019 with Osafuma for our embassy.
That town hall.
I'll share the video. Let them play here. I don't lie.
Yeah.
Play yesterday's one and play the Osafuma for one in 2019. You have the videos. Your producer has the video.
I'm sure they are working on that. So
let them put there so that they will know that I wasn't biased towards Akufo-Addo. And I won't be biased. I will say it as it is. Osafumafo, I asked him, he said, because jailing that woman wouldn't have addressed or solved our economic problems.
Right.
Everybody heard it. It was a news everywhere. I'm the one sitting here. Right. I asked the question in Washington, D.C. Right. Today, Honorable Muntaka has passed another policy that whenever they arrest any foreigner, particularly the Chinese guys, they should just deport them. But our laws stated clearly that they should serve their jail terms before deporting them. And in 2019, President Akufo-Addo and his team passed a law that foreigner engaged in illegal money is supposed to go to jail 20 to 25 years. Ghanaians, 15 to 20 years. That was the law. So why do you have such a law? And you are telling me, has that policy passed through Parliament?
Some will question you on
no Chinese national has been jailed under this government, but they are all over the place degrading our environment.
Yeah, but when you bring up the issue about the Chinese, then the question comes up as to whether or not you're not being too fixated on these people, the Chinese. Why the Chinese? Why stress on the Chinese? Because they are being aided by Ghanaians, I believe.
So, do you know why, in my view, do you know why Muntaka has blocked that policy? By the way, before I answer this question, after the show, you know, or the event, a lot of people came to me taking my numbers and all that. Right. And then after that, I went straight to the Attorney General. I was looking for Muntaka, and I heard, you know, he left the place.
Oh, even before the event ended?
No, he came there. After. I saw him. And I think before my question or after my question, he left the place. So I went straight to the Attorney General and I asked him, why that law? Has it passed through Parliament? Why should you arrest Ghanaians, you put them to jail? And you arrest Chinese guys, you just deport them without them serving any jail term. And you want to tell me you are fighting Galamsey? You are not fighting anything. You say, oh, my brother, take it easy. We are doing this, we are doing very soon. We will scrap that, and I told.
But he's giving the numbers. 600,
how many days?
600 people as we speak now are standing trial.
No Chinese,
no single Chinese,
no single Chinese is standing trial. The Attorney General.
And you have any info on Aisha Huang? Maybe
Aisha Huang. You know Aisha Huang. They left her. She came back, and then they arrested her again and put her to jail. I heard she's in Sawem right now. Right. So if the MPP was able to jail Aisha Huang, and when I'm asked Osaf, you know, after Osaf, I asked the president the same question at New Jersey, and they blocked me from entering, and it became a fight and all that. They were able to jail Aisha Huang, and you people score political points from my questions, both President Akufo-Addo and Osafo Maafo, the question is, why are you doing something similar, the same mistake that they committed, that they even corrected? You are doing the same thing, and you want me to keep quiet and say, I like President Mahama, so I won't talk. I will talk. Ghana first. That's why I don't belong to NDC.
Right.
I don't belong to MPP. Look, I will say it as it is.
Okay, let's do this. State of emergency or security zone. Where do you stand on that?
The security zone already. Look, the forests. Do you know that even the LI 2462 that they passed was for large scale mining, not small scale? Large scale.
Right.
Like Goldfields, Newmont, Golden Star, and all those big companies, how they operate. That is what the LI 2462 was passed on. And I even have a problem with the LI. Before the LI, there was a guide for mining in the forest. You know, the forest, they have the protective, is it the protection or protective forest, and then the production forest. The production forest is where they allow the timber, loggers and all that.
And then you can grow it back.
Yeah, you can grow it back. That is where the guide even allow mining.
Right.
But the preserve or
biodiversity spots, you can't those
protective forest, you can't even do mining there. That was the guide. But the LI didn't state whether protective or production. The LI stated mining in forest reserve. That brought all these wounds to me and all those people mining in the forest. So the LI, even it was part of my questions, but the Attorney General and the Minister said they were going to repeal it. They said it. Right. They say another LI 2501 or something. So nobody even asks about the LI because we know, they are going to do justice to it. My brother, you see, we need to be serious as a country. How can you allow people to mine in forest reserves and then tell me you are fighting Galamsey? Do you know that the committee, the parliamentary committee that passed that LI, the chairman of that committee in 2022 during the hung parliament is our Attorney General right now. He was the chairman of the committee that passed the LI. He should come and challenge me that I'm wrong. Call him right now and let him confess. He was the chairman of the committee that passed that wicked LI 2462 that allowed small-scale miners to mine in the forest reserves. Now he is feeling reluctant to repeal that law.
If you call it wicked, here's the challenge to you, that this was to tackle some issues in the large-scale space. As we speak, there are some pre-existing concessions that we have. I understand Newmont also has one of their concessions located within a forest belt area, right? We had a whole dialogue on that in studio here, and the EPA had then disclosed to us that if you're repealing that law, that may affect some of the standing concessions and agreements you have with these multinational companies. And you know what the implication will be, because that's the sector in which you work in.
Thank you. Have you checked whether the Newmont one is in the protected forest or production forest?
Yeah, but whatever the case, it's within a forest reserve. You get the point.
Wait, if it is in a production forest, then fine. If it's in a protected
area or the biodiversity spot,
the biodiversity, then we should question the person who issued that license. Because the guide before even the
but
LI.
There's no qualification in the LI, is it? As to whether or not...
No, the LI made it general.
That's my point to you. So,
but there was a guide before the guide 2000 or something.
But if you revoke that, will you not trigger concerns that, okay, why are you flashing out small-scale miners out of the forest and not dealing with the large-scale ones?
The large scale, even the LI, is for large scale, not small scale.
Yeah.
The LI is for large scale. So anybody mining with small-scale license in any forest is illegal.
Illegal, right.
That is number one. Number two, let's check the license that they issued to Newmont. Was it in a production forest, which was allowed by them, or the protective forest? If we can understand that, then we will justify whether the person who issued the license was wrong or was right. Then we take it from there. Then we take it from there. But as I'm talking to you now, we don't know whether the Newmont, almost all the large-scale mining companies have concessions in the forest, most of them. And you can't tell me they should revoke their licenses without investigating to know whether their licenses were issued in the production forest or the protective forest. Right. So let's check that. Maybe I'll do that before my next...
Before we go. Yeah. Okay. Then I want to have your take also on this issue about the state of emergency or otherwise. What should be the priority? Because civil society is still marching on. They are pressing for that state of emergency. The president says it should be informed by the security agencies. I was listening to the commander who addressed, give an overview of what's being done now. Are you satisfied with the approach they are now using?
I think over 85% of the people who were there yesterday were satisfied with the president's response. The president cannot act. He will only act when the National Security Advisory Board informed the president where we are. We need to declare state of emergency. Last 3 weeks or so, I was here. Yeah. And I told you that we are not up to the stage where we should declare state of emergency. I was here with Elikem here, and the MPP guy was making noise, but I wish he's here today. What I said was exactly what the president, because I did thorough investigations before coming here. We are not up to that stage. But I must say that yesterday it was all about we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. Elikem, go and tell your people they should do it. Ghanaians want to see results. Ghanaians want to see action. The two main problems are the water pollution and then the land degradation. When are you starting? Have they allocated some budget to, allow the institutions to flow? Yeah. Yes or no? So please, we are giving the president maybe the next 3 months. I know he will call us again. You'll be there, and as at that time, you say, oh, we have started doing this. Then we will be satisfied. Right. Because look, in the next 3 months, if nothing is done, I think people will push for state of emergency. And I will be the campaigner, this senior campaigner for state of emergency. In the next 3 months, if we don't start anything like addressing the issues, instead of calling for engagement, calling for media and all that, that is not a solution.
You lead a demonstration on that?
I will lead a demonstration. I wouldn't mind stripping myself naked and lead a demonstration.
That's how serious you are.
I'm telling you.
Wow. I'll come back to you so I get your thoughts on what happens in the US, for instance, where you operate, and how they're able to mine sustainably with very little effect on the environment. But joining us this morning as well, Deputy CEO for the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko, is with us. He's also Deputy National Organizer for the NDC. Elikem, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Not an easy time if you're in government, because, and especially if it's about your work, it's got to do with the forest reserve. So many questions arising as to what we're doing to protect the forest reserves. But your impression, first of all, on the engagement by the president yesterday?
I think my impression is no different from what the majority, good morning, what the majority of the participants yesterday held. There were those who did not know what exactly the steps government was taking. And they emphasized the need for us to regularly update them so they are not kept in the dark. And that, I think, I agree with them. I'm sure the president did also, and so did the sector minister. And it is very obvious that many who are calling for the so-called state of emergency have not been able to apprise themselves with what the details of that even means. Because when you even put to them, okay, state of emergency, then what? State of emergency, then what? And then they don't know what is next. But mind you, a president can even declare state of emergency and go sit down. It is the commitment and the will to confront this canker head on is what matters. And it is why it's very instructive to always outline the things that has been done. And so I am happy with what Solomon also said, that the steps that have been taken and the future steps that will be taken. And so it was made clear that the president, right from the first day he assumed office, indicated that we shall no longer issue any new licenses, no new issuance of licenses, so that we can assess the current situation, then know what to do. Then again, the 9 forest zones, there were 9 forests that were declared red zones, which meant that they were taken over completely by this criminal gang. But when he came over, he deployed the military to make sure we repossess those 9. That's a second achievement. Then thirdly, he also, the sector minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofe-Boa, working tirelessly with his deputy, also kicked in motion a letter to the Attorney General to call for a repeal of the LI 2462. Yesterday, the Attorney General made us know that when Parliament sits 14th October, that will be one of the first papers put.
Yeah, but that LI, it's been taking you forever to do something.
It hasn't. I mean, that is why he's made you know that, given even a timeline for it. I mean, you don't just say if you're repealing, there must be an alternative that you are having, so that it doesn't leave so much vacuum, considering where we find ourselves. Then, as if that is not enough also, the sector minister has further triggered the declaration of the water bodies and the forest reserves as security zones. Mind you, even if President Mahama should declare a state of emergency today, there will be a thorough deployment of military to such areas, for instance, and that would have been declared even a security zone. So what matters is taking the steps. But don't forget also,
okay, so let me
when we declare that
and I'm interested in this. Let me get the difference between this. Your red zones and the protected areas that the NPP declared during their tenure, what's really the difference? Because I think what people are looking for is a scaled-up intervention for a state of emergency. What's the difference?
I do not see any place where the previous regime protected. What they did was having the Galam Stop, Operation Halt, Operation this and that, who were deployed to these places, and sometimes, somehow, after maybe chalking some success, they retreat. So what is unique under this current dispensation is that we are making sure that these military men are being deployed there, will be stationed there permanently and on rotational basis to make sure that they halt, they deter, they discourage and arrest anybody who finds himself around that enclave. And when we say a place is declared a security zone, what it simply means is that it is more or less like a security installation. You must have very good enough reason to be found there as a civilian, etc. And you see, when you declare a state of emergency, there are excesses to that. That is like saying that the president wished to do something that he cannot do with the powers he has based on the Constitution. But the president has not announced anywhere that where we've gotten to yet, I wish to do something that the Constitution doesn't give me power to do. And so he has given that confidence, he's given that commitment, and he is combining the political will with the goodwill he has gotten over this period. Mind you, not to brag though, but the efforts put in place in the past 8 months alone outweigh what was done in the last 8 years.
I mean, Elegant, why would you say that?
Let me give you...
Last week, this conversation came up. Someone was in studio. I'm trying to... Yes, that's Awal Mohammed, right? So Awal Mohammed says, no government has taken such a big risk as compared to that of the Akufo-Addo administration. And I'll tell you what. His belief is, this is a president who, in fact, shut down completely the small-scale mining sector. And it cost them the elections, isn't it?
It didn't cost them. Let me tell you. 2 things. Are you aware that at the time they claimed to have shut down this illegal mining was when they rather issued the licenses like confetti? Then secondly, it was around the time they claimed to have banned that Ghana's gold production export went highest. How could you have stopped that and the production was going on highest? That was when we had the gold mafia.
And what evidence do you have to connect to the fact that indeed illegal mining was happening on the ground?
No, but where else? We could easily trace that of the conglomerates.
Yeah, but they'll ask you for the evidence, right?
No, we can easily produce that. If I knew this was going to be, I can still get that available.
The fact still remains that it was shut completely.
You shut it, yet you had production that had export that had been at its highest.
Probably it was in a vault somewhere, or you never know.
Let us not kid ourselves. I mean, the canker we are facing today is what is resulting in birth defects. It is affecting many lives. It is putting a heavy burden on our budgets, or on our health budget. And many think that if you fight this, you are fighting a monster. Yes, many also think you are fighting your next elections. That is not true. Because we believe that if you are confronting this head on, the people who will be for you are more than those who are engaged in the Galamsey. So therefore, you need to confront this. If you try to hold a certain myopic view that fighting this will mean about 3.4 to 4 million people are being affected. Yeah. How many people register for elections anyways? And how many votes did the current government attain? So you will definitely step on some toes, but it must be for the good of the majority.
Okay, this is what I'm also interested in. And because you work with the Forestry Commission, you have foreknowledge. In fact, you're the Deputy CEO there. Why is it so difficult to protect our forest bodies and water bodies as well in some of these areas?
To the large extent, what happened in the past 8 years was that there wasn't much recruitment into the Forestry Commission to protect our forests. Rather, there were recruitments for supposed to be called job for the boys kind of thing. And that was for the youth in afforestation. You know what that meant? That was just merely about tree planting. We intend to engage with the YEA and other relevant stakeholders so that in the coming year, we shall recruit more park rangers and guards who will be deployed to protect these places. But this can be achieved only after the military are able to deter most of these people from there. Some of them are wielding sophisticated weapons far, far better than what we have. You know,
so your men are scared?
Our men are,
your men are scared in a way.
And I think I've repeated this before. In our neighboring countries, the forestry services or the forestry commissions are usually a detachment or a deployment of the military. And so you hardly will even find civilians in there. Because water and our forest reserves, you've heard of the saying that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. And they also say water is what? It's life. And we must offer every protection of national interest to that. And I feel that when we do that, then we are doing the right things and making sure it is done in perpetuity. So yes, the challenges are there. The government cannot give all its budgets to Forestry Commission alone to do so. But I believe that moving forward, the president, seeing the severity of the matter, would also give some heavy consideration to the commission. Just as I'm aware that when we met the finance minister 2 weeks ago, he didn't hesitate at all to give approvals to whatever needs to go to NEMOS, because they are the only task force mandated to fight this. And you see, in the past, there were too many forces fighting this, and some became compromised and others were infiltrated. But now everything is NEMOS. Don't say, I'm working with national security, I work with the police service, I'm a military man, therefore I have put onto myself the clothes of a task force to move into the forest reserve to protect it or not. No, you must give every tip-off to the NEMOS. They have the men, the equipment, the resources, and the training to move in there and extinguish anybody involved.
Okay, fortunately, Lawyer John Dako is joining us. He's the Vice Chair of the Environment Committee. You work closely with him sometimes, I believe. He's also a Member of Parliament for Saga. Good to see you. Welcome to the program. Your first time here, I believe, but anyway, we have our studio audience who will be asking you a few questions and putting some issues to you. But at the committee level, why is it that you've not been able to, work together with the Lands Minister just to repeal this LI? Because that's what civil society is asking for.
Oh, thank you very much, and good morning to our cherished viewers and our studio guests and my brothers, Elekem, and I'm told you are a mining engineer, my brother. Good morning to all of you. Yes, so thank you. So the committee is ready to work with the ministry. Indeed, when it comes to the repeal of regulations like that, it actually comes to another committee, which I sit on, the subsidiary legislation committee. I can tell you, if the ministry brought the legislation, we will obviously work with it with dispatch. What it is that the government hasn't given priority to the repeal of that law. I mean, I have made this point here that I don't believe that our problems in the mining sector, the problem with the Galamsey, is the existence of that law per se. Because even though that law existed, the former administration didn't grant any lease to anybody to go into the forest to go and mine. People who have gone into the forest are people who are engaging in illegality. So repealing the law per se, in my view, will not make much difference.
Right.
What will make a lot of difference is the government's action in protecting the forest, irrespective of whether the law exists or not. But it's become an issue because during the campaign, the administration promised the people of Ghana, told the people of Ghana that, look, trust us, and that when we come, we're going to repeal this law. I mean, I was on the committee when they brought the amendment. But our question to the ministry was, why are you bringing an amendment when you promised the people of Ghana that you repeal the law? I mean, they say, well, that's what they intend to do, and that's what they are doing. And mind you, when it comes to Parliament right now, unfortunately, the numbers favor the government in such a way that they can practically do anything they want. I mean, we can only speak. Again, as my friend was saying, I mean, the government came in with a lot of goodwill, and so they've decided that they will ride on their goodwill to do whatever they want. So we are doing our best. We are at least talking to the ministry, talking to the minister. The people of Ghana want to see some change.
Okay,
So,
when you say the repeal will not be helpful, are you saying that based on science, or you're saying that basically because it was your party that introduced the whole legislation in Parliament?
So I'm not sure if I say the repeal will not be helpful. I'm saying that the repeal per se is not what is going to change the situation, because, you know, you have the law there.
Yes.
The law, the main thing that which is about the granting of leases in the forest reserves, okay?
Yeah.
If the law is there and I am not giving anybody that lease, nobody can go into the forest, you know, reserve. The law is there, yeah, I can give it. But Nana Kufa didn't give anybody.
Triggered.
Exactly.
Right.
But people who want to engage in this illegal mining are going there anyway. So whether the law is there or not, these illegal miners are doing what they have to do. What I have realized is that we are happy to talk the politics. We are happy to exchange words, especially between the two major political parties. And I think that the jury is still out there. Both leadership, well, maybe not leadership, but both members of the two political parties are engaged in Galamsey or one way or the other. But I believe that the other people who are not politicians per se outnumber the politicians. And so what happens is that MPP and NDC will be fighting, and the illegal miners will be the one looting the gold and destroying the water bodies. So they are happy for the political parties to fight. Oh, we did this, you did that. But the people who are engaging in the illegal mining, they are there, they are making money, and they are destroying.
One thing I'm on the lookout for is for the president to organize maybe a roundtable for political parties on illegal mining as well. It should happen. Maybe I'll come to Elikem on that. But the question on state of emergency or otherwise, have you discussed that at the committee level? Do you support it as the minority side on the Environment Committee?
Yes, I mean, look, looking at what has happened so far, look, we know last year, last year, August, September, the stability level of our water was 14,000. Today, it's 90,000. The research is there. Nobody can disprove that. So, of course, I'm not saying 14,000 was good, because my understanding is that acceptable stability level is 50.
Yeah.
So even if it goes beyond 60, 70, it's bad. It went to 14,000 last year. It was bad. The then candidate, President, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, and his administration said that we need to declare state of emergency because the situation was bad.
Are you sure? Was that on record?
He never said that. He never.
Now,
Are you sure of what you're saying?
oh, okay. So let me.
Yeah,
so
because you have to clarify
no,
that.
is it a case that the president and his team never called for state of emergency?
Are you saying the team, or you're referring to the
Some of the ministers.
Because you have to be clear on that.
Look, you see, don't do this.
Yeah.
Is it a case? Let the president and his team say that they never declared state of emergency.
No, so that's why I'm asking you to be clear. Did the president call for a state of emergency, or these were some assigns of the NDC or communicators? Who
Okay. So you wait. My friend, I want him to answer. Who asked for a state of emergency? It's not the president.
I don't recall the president.
So nobody in the NDC called for a state of emergency.
Sam George,
my brother.
they all said, but the president never said.
Yeah, because he said the president.
But I've been following these things for a long time.
I don't think that we are here to debate that, but because you are not the only person.
No, the question was, support it or not? Just answer it and then let's move on.
Honestly speaking, who is the host?
Okay, so let's
let me
so just make the point. Yes, no, because of the point you were making.
Yes, no, but I think that I expect that you'll be asking me the question.
No, I get. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, all of these things.
I'm surprised that you are doing this on this show.
Okay, so let's deal with this. Yeah. So you were talking about.
So I'm saying that the president and his team asked for state of emergency. Right?
Yeah.
The president and his team asked for state of emergency. And based on that, the people of Ghana voted for him. At the time you were calling for state of emergency, the water turbidity level was 14,000. Now it's moved from 14,000 to 15,000, 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, 19,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000. And at this point, you say state of emergency is not necessary. You are saying state of emergency at this point is not necessary.
The president says he should be informed by the call from the national security and the security agencies.
Again, I was struck because, I mean, one thing I always say that I like President Muhammad. I mean, as a young guy, I follow him and I like him. So I know the way he talks. And I think yesterday he did that. When the Constitution gives you, the president, the power to declare state of emergency, you don't come and sweet-talk Ghanaians and say, I'm waiting for the national security to advise. No. First of all, the president is not bound by the advice of national security. He is not supposed to act on the advice because our Supreme Court has given us clear definition on advice. But
he chairs the National Security Council.
I'm coming. I'm saying that the president, is not bound. Because you see, in the end, the bus stops with the president. He makes the final call. He decides whether I'm going to do this or not. So he doesn't have to wait for national security. If in his opinion, there's an emergency situation, in fact, from Article 31, he can declare state of emergency before he even comes to Parliament. So for the president to say that, I'm waiting for national security to advise me to declare state of emergency, before I do that, and that I'll wait. The day they will ask me to do it, I'll do it. For me, I think it's just shifting his duty as a president. He has the ultimate responsibility. He's the one the people of Ghana voted for. He came to promise the people of Ghana that vote for me and I'll protect the water bodies, I'll protect
Council,
the forest.
you know the implications of what you're calling for. You understand the implication of calling for a state of emergency. Some say that even rights may not be upheld. Are you not mindful of that as well? When he and his team were calling for state of emergency, didn't they know? And that's why I was surprised yesterday, when he called this meeting. Sometimes it's good this is for the optics, right? Because you have been voted for. You brought your manifesto to the people of Ghana. The people of Ghana look at your manifesto, listen to you, voted for you. Now you are now going to call some people to come and advise you on how to fight Galamsey. So when you were coming, you have no plan. You have no plan of fighting Galamsey. You are now calling people to come and help. So I'm saying that the president has the ultimate responsibility. You declare state of emergency. What is happening right now? It is more than declaration of war by a foreign government. I can tell you. Look, when you go to the mining sector, the illegal mining place, well, some of the people there are actually foreigners. Correct me if I'm wrong, my brother.
You are right.
You have some of them from Togo, Burkina, Ivory Coast, in fact, from the West Africa. And they are here destroying our forest, destroying our water bodies, and the people of Ghana are dying. You don't think this is worse than even a foreign government declaring war on us? So this is the time.
Yeah, Elikem says it's optics. I'll come to Doc shortly.
I
He says
am
it's
shocked
optics.
at what he is saying, and worst of all, that he's a member of parliament. Now I understand why President Akufo-Addo ruled Ghana the way he did. He did things without consulting anybody. He was very reckless.
But how, I mean, you're not being fair to the honourable.
I'm being very fair. For him to think that matters of national security, because the Constitution gives you power, it means that the president can wake up in the morning and decide to say, look, I'm shutting this place down because this is how I feel. I'm doing that. That was how come even when Aisha 1 was deported, the president sat and told us he didn't even know what happened. Look, when the Constitution tells you that you're supposed to declare a state of emergency, it does not mean that you just get up and do so. You do so based on information available to you by your security corps. And second, let me add, as a member of parliament, he just lied through his teeth when he said in his opening statement that he is not sure that any mining permits were given to go into the forest. 44 of that was done in your regime. 44. And so please be briefed well before you sit on this show to want to lie to your people. I work at the Forestry Commission. 44. And let me give them to you if you want to. You see the way you were reading? And let me tell you, to declare a state of emergency is not only about the turbidity of the water. A lot of components constitute that. That was why I outlined to you. In the first place, we were issuing licenses like confetti. So the more you were issuing licenses and you said you were addressing the issue, you could not actually hold it together. So President Mahama, right from day one, said no more licenses so that we can assess that. Let me give you the statistics on even the licenses and what the committee is doing, chaired by the Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Suleiman. As of now, 1,278 licenses were being reviewed. 316 were found to be genuine and clean. 55 have been revoked instantly. Then 962 are considered to have issues. And out of these 962, 907 of them are at risk of revocation. And so let me give you, if I should give you a list of some of the lines, the permits that were given under their tenure, which unfortunately, maybe they did it without letting you know. So they misled you into coming to the show to say that there was no such thing. The first 13 here, I can share them with, should I share with you so that maybe...
I mean, maybe we'll project it, but if you can project some of them to read briefly, we can...
So that you can project it. 1X International, Lotus Impact, Capsod Mining, Clean Jobs...
I'll give you the 40 you are referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was
so June
23rd, 2022, December 3rd, 2024, December 3rd, 2022, November 20th, 2024, November 20th, 2024, May 20th, 2022, May 20th, 2022, April 26th, 2024, June 11th, 2024, June 4th, 2024, June 6th, June 18th.
Okay, so this is to make...
And on and on. And you have a member of parliament sit here to tell you that he is not aware, none of that has happened. And so I am surprised. That is why, you see, it now gives me, even as a young person, an understanding of what we went through in the past 8 years in the hands of President Akufo-Addo. If you think that the Constitution gives you power, and therefore you can do everything at your own whims and caprices, there is other...
He says, and if I listen to him well, he says, the president doesn't need counsel in
that is very wrong.
State of emergency.
Look. You see, the people here seated in the studio can tell us right now that they all want perfumes. If we give them all perfumes now, they may all apply it and we may all start sneezing. Will you say because they say it's their right and they need it, we should give it to them? You would have to look at the conditions and the timings. And let me tell you again, very emphatically, it is not only one reason for which you would request for a state of emergency. And that is why I outlined to you, at the time they were still issuing licenses, it was under your regime that you pushed through the LI to allow Ghanaians or people to go and mine in the forest zones. And today you are sitting here again and saying that we have not shown commitment to doing so. You who pushed it through in the first place with your simple majority, you couldn't speak against it then. Was it November 2022? But now, you are now here saying that the NDC is not showing commitment.
Did your team not promise that there should be a state of emergency? He's challenged you to that.
It is not the team. You may have individuals who have said so. Just as you are having individuals...
Yeah, but they were campaigning for the NDC.
Just as you are having individuals say the same thing today. They are in their right to say so.
Yeah, but you made the promise.
Yes.
Why are you running away from that fact?
No, I'm not running away from that.
Some members of the NDC made
Some members of the NDC made that.
Are they not members of the NDC?
They are members of the NDC. In their right and in their view or in their opinion, based on what they saw, they felt that that should be the case. Just as today, there are people still who hold the same view. I am, however, convinced that till date, I am yet to listen to any security couple who would be able to say that I am a security expert and I also agree that the state of emergency should be declared. Because it is wanting the president to do things that ordinarily he would not do.
Well, what you're doing now is to tell us that next time when your party leadership is speaking, we don't take them seriously. Because you were all on the campaign.
Let me tell you what I think many of us should always take seriously. Take what is contained in the political party's manifesto.
If we're to go by that.
It is the reason why when I sit on your show, and even let's say Solomon is with the NPP, or he is with the NPP, if he says anything out of their manifesto, I don't bother to comment.
Are you sure about that? But you guys do politics all the time.
The reason being that I will vet you in the end based on what is contained in your manifesto. President Mahama is delivering a national apprenticeship program, a Jumura, the writing off of e-levy. He is doing 10 billion for the big push. That is contained in the manifesto. So I will be guided by that.
But in your manifesto comes the repeal of the airline.
Yes.
But you haven't done that too.
I mean, but there's evidence that the minister,
it's been
who is the sector minister, well, everything is not done within the first day that you start in office. No, I'm sure you agree with me.
Right.
And so the minister, who happens to be the member of parliament for Elembele and also doubles as a caretaker minister for environment, immediately has kicked in motion a letter to the Attorney General for every necessary process to be initiated for that to be repealed. And yesterday, the Attorney General gave a promise that on the 14th of October, that will be one of the first documents that will be laid in Parliament.
Okay, I'll give the time to Dr. Solomon also, but I want us to hear some of the concerns from the audience. And then he will address that. Then we'll start off with him and then get your thoughts and that of Lawyer John Dako as well. Kamal Bruni is with us, yes?
Yeah, Blessed. I think the Deputy CEO should be well abreast with the role he's in when it comes to this issue of Galamsey. Now, he's saying that former President Nana-Addo, he's assuming how he ruled the country without consulting. But I would like to draw his attention that the fact that a president must consult the security couples, likewise, if the security couples come to him and tell him to declare state of emergency, he can equally choose to refuse. That is the president's discretion. So I agree with the member of parliament where he said that the final discretion of declaring state of emergency lies with the president. So the fact that you've been briefed by the security couples does not really mean that automatically you will have to declare. But you see, Blessed, in all this, the NDC suddenly is running away from their own manifesto. In all that is transpiring. Because the simple thing is that they are now enablers of Galamsey. So definitely, I don't see how they can really try to solve this thing. Because if a president tells you that Galamsey is offering 4 million jobs, and therefore declaring state of emergency will mean people will become jobless, it tells you how enabling the president is. Now, the president, as part of the strategies of the NDC, in their manifesto, you should check the 120-day social contract the president has with Ghanaians, which he has failed woefully, has to do with banning all forms of small-scale mining. It's in there. Right. And then in their manifesto too, there's to declare state of emergency. So if...
which part of the manifesto is that? So you point that to us.
Unfortunately, I captured it as a bullet. By the time we come back,
I get that. But I mean, just to stick to facts.
I'll quote the exact...
You know, that's what we do on the show here.
I'll quote the exact portion.
I'll be waiting for that. So let me, just land so I give the opportunity to someone.
So the problem I'm trying to put across is that the president yesterday, even in addressing it, said that our military, we are stretched. And the question one will ask is that, should Ghana be attacked now? Can't we, a small country like Togo, should a small country like Togo,
I mean, with all respect
Ghana, are we going to say that we are stretched in terms of our security personnel? Yeah. So it's simply a way that I feel like the president is really not up to the task of solving the Galamsey menace.
Okay, let's go behind and then I'll come back to the front line. There's a gentleman behind, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Joshua from ATU.
Yeah, Joshua, what's the point? Yes, be brief about that.
Okay, about the approach to Galamsey. I think the NDC government is really doing well. Also, I will say that again, because looking at the licenses being given out by the previous administration, it should tell you how they failed to target the issue of Galamsey. And then also, the deputy CEO just mentioned how they are dealing with that licenses, revoking some on trials, and then, I mean, few out of the licenses we have now, few are permitted to even mine. That should tell you the processes or the guidelines the NDC is putting in order to solve the problem with Galamsey. So I'm not buying into the idea of the member of parliament saying the president is failing, to bring out a state of emergency. The president didn't say he won't do that. He's saying that he's waiting, not that he's waiting. He's putting measures in place with both the national security to make sure things are put in order. So in a state where he feels like, even if you realize where it has gotten to needs and a state of emergency, I think that will be done before even the national security consults him. At least we all know, even if we all do things that need to be, we need advices. Yes, the president cannot just act.
All right.
So I think...
Yeah, just land on that.
So I think the president needs to consult. Yes, he needs to seek for advice. And even he's not even seeking for advice. He's just waiting for them because he's working hand in hand with them to bring at least meaningful results targeting such issues. Thank you.
For the sake of time, let's... Yes.
Very much. I was very happy when Elikem was saying that we should speak to issues in the manifesto. And in the manifesto, it was clear that when they come, they will arrest the campaigns. Now, you understand many people are standing trial. And then we've been hearing only Chema to me. If it's about name and shame, we want to know the number of campaigns that are standing trials and the number of people that have been given amnesty. Because I've been hearing only Chema to me, that mention only his name. We don't know how many campaigns are standing trial. That's what I want to know.
Okay. Any more takers? There's a gentleman behind. So let's do that before you. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to stress on the issue of job creation, because we are talking about the Galamsey. We are also looking at how many jobs are there for the young people who are involved in this Galamsey. If anything should happen, like let's just say, okay, the Galamsey, they want to close it. What are the approach to create jobs, okay, for the young people? Because my take is that they should encourage entrepreneurship for the young graduates that are coming in, so that when jobs are created like this, you will see people, most of the young ones, they will frown on those Galamsey. So that's
Okay, let's take the final one, and I give the chance to Doc. Elikem, I'll come to you.
Yeah, I also want to stress on the 600 people who are currently on trial. Now, my question is, why do you deport the foreigners without not giving them any room to make a little compensation? That is one, because we need whatever they extracted from us need to come back to us. So if we are not holding them responsible and we end up deporting them, I think the government is not being fair on that part. And secondly, they made it clear to us, the citizens, that they engage them to write their manifesto. They have been in power before, and the president has the whole idea of how things are being stirred up there. Now, my question is, if you knew very well that you need the approval, or let's say an advice from the security service before you end up declaring a state of emergency, why then were you allowing your boys to keep spreading news that was not right to the people of this country? And finally, I really want us to understand, engaging the CSOs today or yesterday, I believe was the right thing at the wrong time. Why do I say this? It was supposed to happen at least the second month in this year.
Just after winning the election.
Just after winning the election. So you are coming up with this idea now, engaging them now for what?
Okay, great.
You understand?
Let me give the take to Dr. Osu. We'll go for a break, and then I'll take that of Elikem and John Darko. So, Doc, your point on what happens elsewhere in the US where you are, and also comparing that to some of the concerns that have been raised now.
Yeah, thank you. Before I continue, let me give me 1 minute to address some of the issues that my good friend lawyer Daku raised. You know, he is the vice chairman of the committee in Parliament, right, or the topic on the table, that's the Mines and Energy Committee.
No, that's for environment, yes.
Environment,
right.
Science and Technology. And I think before he makes any comment, I will recommend, highly recommend, that he conducts some research. Because
but why are you all coming really hard at it?
No, I'm not hard at it. I'm just advising him as a professional in the industry.
No, but
over 20 years.
Gentlemen,
if you come and tell me, wait. If you come and tell me that your government didn't issue even one license, I live in the United States. I don't live in Ghana. I'm not a parliamentarian, but I know that they issue about 44 licenses for people to mine in the forest. I don't live in Ghana. I live in the United States. You know, he knows.
I don't know that. Just be careful. Don't be addressing me like that.
No problem. No, I have to.
What do I know about you that you live in the United States? Do you think that it's such a big deal?
It's not about the United States. Are you serious? I'm trying to make a point that I don't even live here, but I know. I'm not a parliamentarian, but I know that your government issued about 44 licenses right after the November LI 246 to between November and December. They issued over 44 licenses to people to go and mine in the forest. So if you come and sit here and tell us your government never issued any license, either you are lying to us, or I don't know what, or you didn't do your research work. That's why I'm advising you that next time do your research.
Okay, so
go ahead. I'm not a young. I'm older than you.
Go ahead.
Keep quiet and listen to me.
Let's not get there, gentlemen.
The second one, no. Let me address it because I'm not a politician.
Yeah, I get the point, but let's focus on what's on the table.
And we need to stick to.
Joy, I don't expect you to get people like that when I'm here because I don't like dealing with people like that.
Dealing with who?
No, let's.
Look, my brother, never compare yourself to me in anything.
Dr. Sola, also, let's focus
education-wise, financially, everything. Never compare. You are just a mere member of parliament.
You're watching Prime Insight. We'll be back after this break. Please stay with us.
Practice gratitude. Cultivate a mindset of appreciation and thankfulness. Acknowledge the positive aspects of your life and express gratitude to those who have supported you.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie. Tastes great.
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix. It gets everything inside. Champion taste.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trout from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Be the luckiest, go people to be luckiest. From not the because she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest, everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God down for boom. If you're poor, what's that toy? So would the coming of the Son of Man be?
Hey!
Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial *712#. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. Enjoy a stress-free shopping experience with unforgettable discounts and amazing prizes. This is the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair, the biggest sales bazaar where buyers and sellers meet. Whether you're a small business owner, a bold startup, or just passionate about the future of businesses in Africa, this is where you need to be. 3 days of exhibition and networking, over 150 SMEs and startups, ranging from food, textiles, fashion, consumer electronics, home decor and appliances, furniture, automobile and technology, and loads more, all under one roof. Don't miss out on the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair from the 31st of October to November 2nd at the Good Park, Accra Mall, off the Spintex Road. Gate open at 8 a.m. each day. To register as an exhibitor or vendor, call 0500-238-383 or 0244-453-929. The EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair is powered by Joy Prime and sponsored by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN Business. Welcome to a new world of business. Media partners: Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy News, and myjoyonline.com.
Okay, good to be back with you here on Prime Insight. Dr. Solomon Osu was just landing off a point there. Doc, yeah, so there's a question to you. No, I believe that's to Elikem. So let's deal with the issue, the point you were raising, your point on what happens elsewhere and how we can solve this issue.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think mining is operated in a lot of countries, across the continents. Every continent there is mining there. If you check the ranking of the gold-producing countries in the world, the largest gold-producing country is China, followed by Russia, then Australia, then Canada, then United States, before Ghana. Ghana is number 6, United States is number 5. Where I work is gold mine. We mine gold in the United States. And the states that I live in right now, Nevada, we produce over 70% of gold in the whole of the United States. That should tell you that we can mine responsibly and sustainably without polluting water bodies and degrading lands haphazardly. Have you heard any water polluted in the United States or silted like the way we see in River Pra and Cobra and all that? No. China, if you try, they will kill you. Australia, no. Canada, no. So if all the countries before Ghana, they all mine without polluting water bodies, why can't we do so? Why can't we do same? My brother, the problem, the fundamental problems, one, the wastewater from sites that are not controlled, contained, and treated before joining the streams to join the river bodies. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, dredging in the water bodies. And we all know that mining in water body is illegal. The Minerals Commission only give licenses 100 meters away from a river body. If this is a river body, we have 100 meters here, 100 meters here. You can't mine within, you can only mine beyond the 100 meters. Why do we have people mining directly in the river bodies with the champagnes? So one, law enforcement is one. And after clearing them, we need to restore the rivers. That is, cleaning the rivers and dechemicalize the rivers. There are technologies for the river, and then there are technologies for the site wastewater control. I've heard that the president and the government is trying to employ that technology and implement that into The small-scale mining sector. Wait.
Is it a gold catcher also?
We have, that's the processing.
Right. Okay.
Gold catcher is the processing. Right. After mining, then they use it to process.
Right. Okay.
They are all there.
Okay.
Now, this government has been in power for 9 months or 8 months. And I've heard that they are trying, and it's all about money. Let me tell you, I think money is another problem. That's why the president and then the minister for lands and natural, they were all calling for institutions to help financially to, to raise some funds, to do that. Once they have the plan and they are working on it, I don't see the need for state of emergency. People started calling for state of emergency under the previous administration after they had waited for over 7 years. It was around the last quarter of the election that people started calling for state of emergency. Even January 2024, people were not calling for state of emergency. So now that this government is planning to do something, let's give the government some time. But saying this, I must be frank with Elikem and his team. They should expedite it because we can't continue to drink poison. We can't continue to see what we are seeing. Ghanaians want to see results, water restoration and land reclamation. So they should give us some timeline on when they are going to implement.
We have other issues to do with, but let me wrap up with Elikem and John Dakode. There was a question to you, Elikem, right? Your question was about... Yes, the kingpins. And speaking of that, the president or the attorney general spoke of Wuntumi, his mining company. Are you not? Is it targeting? Is it fair to say you're targeting him?
It is not targeting, but we lived in this country, and one person who publicly always displayed wealth, displayed gold, etc., was Wuntumi. Let me tell you on record today something I've inquired on. I was part of the team that were moved to Summerboy on that day. And if you see what happened there, I am a father. I have girls, I have boys. I'm a parent. And when I see these things happen, I worry not even because of the people, but because of myself and my family. And so if I'm very concerned about this, the kingpins, let me tell you what happened. There's a whole lot of myth surrounding gold. It is a spirit, it grows, this and that. So when these kingpins employ these small boys or these guys into this whole enterprise, they make them take all manner of vows, blood covenants, etc.
Really?
Oh, yes. So catch him, try to cut off even his throat, he will not want to disclose. So one of the things that we're doing now is to be monitoring some of them. So while we even know some are engaged, these I can tell, they can do whatever, we're monitoring some of them so that we can be able to trace them finally to who and where they actually engage in this enterprise work. Because if we do not do some of these things, we will be dealing ourselves so much blow. Then also the other one about the Chinese. Yesterday, the minister even made it clear. It was not a government policy. It was just an administrative decision. And therefore, it is being looked at now because, you see, President Mahama would always listen. And his government will also always listen and decide that based on this and all that. And so it is the reason why I'll get back again to tell you that, look, even though the buck stops with you, you can take a decision as president to press this button. When you leave office, you'll be queried as to whether you took that after going...
but it's executive powers.
Yes, executive powers. Executive powers still request that you go through protocols. There are standard protocols to go through before doing so. And so you cannot say that because the Constitution says I should do so, it doesn't mean... There are protocols you must still go through. And so if you do not go through those protocols, you will be found culpable again with the law, even though you think that you have executed a mandate given you by the Constitution. And that is the reason why even when you say no, let's assume the national security, or you are advised to do so, you must, as president, have good enough reason to even say no to the advice from them. And when they are not even advising you and you take that decision, you must again have very good enough reason to have done that without the advice of them. What would the president
lose if we declare state of emergency and...
It only tells you that President Mahama is not a dictator. He is not trigger ready, happy to take on certain powers. So far, whatever there is to do to confront this menace, he believes it is still within his powers.
Okay, on the issue of the arrest.
Yes.
You say you're not fixated on Wuntumi. There are a number of your individuals who are even being investigated. I believe your boss.
Yeah, it was mentioned yesterday.
Part of that list.
And you see, that is to tell you under this regime, even if you have.
But the AG.
No, even he made it. No, it was already even in the news. Before yesterday's program.
Yes, that's right.
And even yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, the night before, it was in the news further that the AG had referred them to Ioko. And so
but your boss was more pronounced on Wontumi than the others.
Yeah, well, you see,
in fact, he says he will be arrested.
Let me give you this scenario.
Right. Okay.
In the case of my boss, you mean Joseph Yamin and Abanga. These are allegations being made against him so far. You get my point. So that is why they said they should do that investigation. In the case of Wontumi, I'm telling you that even by Monday, he's supposed to report for processes to begin. But you see, in his case, well, maybe the matter is now in court. I would have told you a lot of things that transpired over there on that day. And you cannot rule out that Wontumi.
So you're not witch hunting?
You cannot rule out that Wontumi was one major kingpin who was having a lot of tributaries. So that is one big shot you are trying to take down, because when you knock that, for instance, you are renting your space to a lot of Chinese. So when you take that head
President
off,
Akufo-Addo is on record to have said, even when we did that report, that Wontumi's company, as of that time, was not engaged in illegal mining.
Those were the things that should have let somebody realize that was rather what is called an enabler of the enterprise. When President Akufo-Addo said Wontumi was not engaged, you saw how he always rushes to the defense of these people without any thorough investigation. You in the media have done, Donko is there. Erastus works here. Yeah. So that is good enough reference point as to whether Wontumi was doing illegal mining. Wontumi didn't have all the permits to do what the court will determine. By Monday, everything will start, and then we'll begin to see all this. Look, that is why I need to state again that a lot of things accounted for why people were calling for the state of emergency at the time. The fact that we're issuing licenses. President Mahama says no new licenses. We've repossessed 9 of the red zones. We have also now decided to be registering excavators, tracking them and geofencing them, which was not the case. In the past, they just come through the ports and they were going everywhere. Then also the repeal of the LI 2462, the security zones that are being declared, and then finally, the introduction of NIMOS. One will ask what is different with NIMOS from the Galam Stop, the Operation Halt and all that. These are military men purposely trained for that, one. In the previous regime, they were not trained, they were just military men deployed to go. No, that is the truth. No, I am, you see,
they're giving the command, they would obviously
yes, so they were just giving the command, go in there and stop. But this time round, we are, okay, so let me give, sorry I didn't do this.
Briefly,
containing the NIMOS is the military, the police, the police are to effect the arrest, the immigration officers, because there are foreigners involved there, then NACOC, Narcotics Control Commission also, because a lot of drugs are being peddled in that space.
Well,
then we have national security as well. So this is how do you call it? A combination of all the forces that are needed to be present there to ensure that we nip this in the bud. And when this is being done, this time round, they are being deployed there permanently and on rotational basis. Not to go and extinguish the fire, and then leave there. And when even they tried, they didn't start deployment. The last time they went to destroy those who were operating at the Ahunyafoto Forest Reserve, immediately after, another gang of 9 criminals went in there. NIMOS had to go in quickly to arrest them. As we speak, they've been brought to Accra and we split them to different police stations.
So it's on permanent basis.
And yes, and they are also going to be prosecuted. As I'm aware, 3 days ago, the minister placed a call through to the Attorney General, and that is also being done.
All right, okay. Lawyer John Dako, the issue about even the prosecutions itself, you feel the AG should be more targeted, I mean, more strategic about it. He seems to be, I mean, his top priority now is about the Wontumi case. That will start this week.
No, don't forget they have about 600.
Oh, okay. 600.
Thank you, but I mean, I'm not surprised. Honestly speaking, I believe that whoever engages in illegal mining should be dealt with according to the law. I wholeheartedly believe that, because what is happening, okay, like I said earlier, is worse than declaration of war by a foreign government. And so I commend the government for initiating the process to prosecute whoever is engaging in illegal mining. Except to say that from what we are hearing so far, it is just targeted at some perceived political enemies. I feel that the best way we can do this is to depoliticize this. If you are caught, irrespective of your political color, you should be dealt with according to the law. I mean, in the case of Wuntumi, he's my regional chairman. I mean, there's no issue with that. He has come out clearly to state that he had all the required licenses.
Yes, and documentation.
Look, me, I teach environmental and natural resource law, at Gempa. And I'm sure my students, once they are listening to me, they say that, well, sir, you tell us that having the documentation, having the licenses is not enough. You can have a license for, let's say, 5 years. If after the expiration of the 5 years, you are still mining, that becomes illegal.
Right.
If you are given license to mine in this room, and this I always tell my students, and you go beyond this room to the next room, that mining activity is illegal. All right.
So the moment you trespass a bit.
Yes, the moment you trespass.
You're done.
And I know I've seen people who have used sometimes reconnaissance or prospecting mining license as a basis to go into mine. And when you have a reconnaissance license, there's what you can do. Prospecting, there's what we can do.
Right.
And then the mining lease. And so for an ordinary person, holding a piece of paper is not enough. In fact, you may have even the license, but your EPA license may have expired. If you continue to mine without, that is illegal. So there are a lot of...
Then the definition itself is quite wide.
Oh yeah, but somebody say anything outside the purview of the law. And so when you mine without EP license, that is outside the purview of the law. If your license expires and you continue, because small-scale mining licenses are issued for 5 years, renewable. So people think that is forever. In fact, even the large-scale mining licenses are sometimes, I think it can go as far as only 30 years. So it's not forever.
So for you, it's not witch hunting when the Attorney General says this?
I mean, so long as they are using the law, and Wuntumi will have his day in court. He will have his lawyers to defend him in court. And so long as they are going through that process, I am okay. But what I'm saying is that we know that there are several NDC people who are also engaged in this activity. And clearly, we know what you mentioned, Yamin and all the... And they are not the only people.
They are under investigation.
Well, so we see.
Elikem just told you.
As a member of Parliament, why are you holding
they are under investigation.
Well, so we'll see. I mean, fortunately, today is Saturday. Today will not be the only Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
Next week will be another Saturday.
Definitely.
In 2 weeks there will be another Saturday. So today is not the only Saturday. So another Saturday will come. So we here as the people of Ghana will see the government's approach, whether it's targeted, whether it is a desire to fight illegal mining, or whether they are going to protect their own and go after.
Are you willing to give some of the names out to government?
No, but you see, I think that when we having this conversation, let's be open and frank. I mean, so I mentioned Amin, right? You've mentioned Abanga. These are the names. But we know, once they claim they are investigating, we want to see. The other people, look, we've had, in fact, there was a time, Joy FM, you did a news analysis. One MC, I've forgotten the particular MC, this same government had gone to his district. He fought them. He fought the government that came to, they were coming there to fight Galamsey. The MC was fighting the government. I've just forgotten the name. So you see, when you ask me, give the name, I mean, we are not just doing simple analysis. These are real issues. I may not know the name of the person on top of my hand or my fingertips, but they are real issues. They are there. So let's just be honest and say that, okay, whoever is engaging in this, if the person belongs to our party, will fight this.
All right.
And then we know that your commitment is there. You don't just ask me, just mention it. When you know that your people are engaging in it.
Yeah. Before we do the Sam George issue, I want to hear from Doc briefly on the Wuntumi issue. But Elikem, you wanted to...
Yeah, I was just going to drop a little. One, depoliticizing things. It is the reason why the NIMOS, for instance, was further clothed by the minister that instead of a politician going to see the chiefs and the traditional authorities, let NIMOS, being military and etc., move in there. Oh, Nana, we have seen this structure here. We suspect that there. Within 24 hours, we want it off so we can... And I want to put on record here.
Okay.
I'm still wondering why Chairman Wontumi called me one day after the Summer Boy incidents. Something I never spoke about. Hello? Elikem, this is Chairman Wontumi. I said, this is Chairman Wontumi. Oh, Elikem, now I am son. I was a boss and madam for. And I kept that now we're back What was he calling me for?
He's inviting you as a friend.
For what? What for? I never said this anywhere, but I have decided to.
Yeah, but you are both in the biggest political parties. You are a deputy national organizer.
He's never called me, not even when I won my elections. Not even. I mean, look, I am happy to hear him say, you see, who didn't know that if you want to make mention of names, he was one of the #1 people who probably was perceived to be leading people into the forest, into the places, because he saw himself as the greatest kingpin, and nobody comes through the mind except through me and Wontumi. That was it.
Wow.
If you had said that you asked me to provide evidence, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But you allow Elikem. So I think that
he says he will.
If you Elikem, you can say anything without providing evidence. That he's the one who leads. He's the one who leads people to the minus, and that you cannot go into minus except him. I mean, but you see, I thought that. Look,
he says he called him personally.
Listen, I thought that we were moving away from there. You see, honestly, I believe that this menace has to be tackled well and be depoliticized. So I talk without even the policy. But I think that my brothers in the NDC feel that it's always good. But you see, right now, remember, you're in government.
Yes, I am.
You are in government.
I haven't forgotten.
So when we begin to talk like this and continue to politicize it, then it's going to...
What makes this politicized?
It's going to make your work even more difficult. Listen, the other time I said that, look, when it comes to this Galamsey, maybe one of the ways we can do this is to sit down, the two major political parties, sit down.
And Georgia.
And make a deal. Okay?
A deal?
Yes. You see, if you listen to Donald Trump a lot.
Yeah.
And he said, let's make a deal. Political parties make a deal to solve a particular situation.
Right.
And I've said that, look, NPP, before the 2020 election, the party was fighting the Galamsey. We all saw it. The declaration that the president, in fact, he stopped mining for so many months. All of that affected the party in 2020. In the lead up to the 2024 election, of course, as a political party which want power to resolve many issues, the fight against Galamsey was relaxed.
Yeah. So you believe that now's the time for the political
you understand?
To come together.
Now I'm saying that the NDC, when you continue to go the politics way,
it won't be helpful.
It won't be helpful. So when you say that, let me just before I land, I made the suggestion here.
Yeah.
And then let me just say it again. You can say now. I said that, look, maybe NPP, we are prosecuting 1, 2, 3 people. It's just an example. Right. So I think I remember I used Ken Ofrata as an example. That, okay, the president can say that, you know what, you people, I see that maybe you love your former minister. Maybe he's done ABCD. In exchange for maybe leaving him, give me 100% support to fight Galamsey. I'm just saying, you can have... you understand? Yeah. That's how we make deals to resolve issues.
Right. Okay.
But they are not ready to even listen.
Yeah. Elikem, you should be preparing to make that deal.
Thank you so much.
They want to make case briefly so that we talk or touch on the DStv.
Yeah, I support the call for the depoliticization of the issue. Right. That one is 100%. Right. And for the Wuntumi's case, I remember as at that time, the Minerals Commission came up with a report. I had the report. It's unfortunate I didn't print all those things here. I had that report, a copy of that report, stating that Wontumi was not mining with a mining lease as at where they did the arrest. Right. He didn't have mining lease. And then even the minister, Abu Jinapo, came up and said it was illegal mining. Then the president later came up, said Wontumi was not doing illegal mining anywhere. Right. That time, I even wrote an article on that. Said, which is which? Now, NDC is in power. And they've also mentioned their
next top. It's just happening next week. They would want to go after Wontumi.
Very good. So the point is, if somebody is wrong, whether MPP or NDC, once it is illegal mining, the person needs to be dealt with. You see, we've all been targeting illegal mining. But Blessed, let me tell you, even those who have license, their operations pollute water bodies and degrade lands. If you go to a mining site and there is operation, the only difference is someone has license, someone doesn't have license.
Right.
How they operate to extract the gold, the same thing. They don't contain the wastewater. They don't control the wastewater. They don't treat the wastewater before joining the streams to the rivers. So if we can address the wastewater on site, address the dredging and control the rivers, and then we see restored water bodies and then concurrent reclamation as they are mining, they, reclaim the lands that have been degraded.
All right.
I don't think Ghanaians will have issues.
Okay.
So the government, Elikem and your people,
they have to work on that.
Your government should work on implementation of the responsible and sustainable mining, which will allow them to mine in environmentally friendly manner.
Okay, great.
To address these problems that we are seeing today.
So let's round off with the DStv issue. Here's how I want to do it. Because the expectation was from our audiences and also those who are subscribers as well. Let's go into the audience and get their thoughts on the new package. The new package. Probably the ladies will now watch more movies, I believe. Let's get into the audience and see if there's more value. Any takers maybe on the DStv thing? Yeah, we should be hearing from our ladies too on this one. Yeah, come on.
Blessed, you remember when we had that discussion here with Honorable Fatima, former Minister of Information?
Yeah, she was here.
And where we talked about diplomacy taking center stage instead of the pomposity that the minister was exhibiting. You see, now the minister has reduced the whole thing to package increases, which wasn't his own, the initial fight he started. This is Honorable Sam George on his Facebook page on the 5th of September. He says, if MultiChoice is not interested, as they claim in their last statement, in discussing a reduction in prices, as they had indicated to me, we would proceed to effect the shutdown tomorrow as indicated. So now it has nothing to do with increases of packages. So the minister should come out. One, he has promoted DStv for free. Two, he should come and apologize to our subscribers because he told us that wherever our DStv decoders are, we should go and dust them because come 1st October, we're going to hear something positive.
Now if you
now it has turned out to be one of the biggest hoax ever the minister has put on Ghanaians. He just owes us an apology. It's as simple as that.
Okay, great. Yes, maybe some of them want to share their experience, or maybe, you can just...
to me, I think DStv, the board of DStv should be studied. How they were able to use Sam George, Honorable Sam George.
Really?
Yeah, to advertise a promo. Yeah, in fact, Sam George, Honorable, the lion was roaring when it was the opposition. The lion is now behaving like a parrot. He's not talking. It's no more acting like, I'm surprised because it's a promo. After everything, after he came out with the conference, I was expecting DStv to come out with that communique, not or the Honorable himself. If anything about the promo, the packages, whatever, the value or the price reduction, I was expecting DStv management to come out with that communique, not the Honorable himself. So I was surprised DStv was able to use the minister as an influencer to market or to advertise the promo, and then we have to give them some award for doing that. Yeah, they've done very well.
Okay, there's a view from the lady behind.
Okay, so I saw something like he must be sacked.
Yes, that was from the. I think that was from the minority side. I think yes.
That's not the way forward.
Okay,
there's no need to sack him. Maybe yes, that was his promise to us, but then. It's two entities that are in government and then the firm or the institution. Yeah. So maybe, what if maybe he went in to negotiate for us too? Don't understand. So let's not be too harsh.
There's an increased value. That's
yes,
what
understand. You see, they've added another packages to it, so it's kind of this issue is a bit kind of dicey. Yeah. But then please let's be let's be calm about it.
Yeah,
I don't think you're waiting for any bad. Yes, maybe
for us. Yeah, there's someone behind you who would want to make a point briefly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll get to you. Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to the package,
yes,
the paddy package. Okay, we have the. Is it
59?
Yes, 59.
Yes.
I which you watch like 40 plus channels. And then looking at what our minister came to say, okay, so indirectly there's a reduction because previously when you have the 59 cedis, you watch like 40 plus channels, but currently with the promo, you watch more than that. Yeah. So indirectly, there's a reduction. And secondly, I think DStv gave our minister, there was a miscommunication or a misinfo for that information he came to give us about the promo. Yeah. And then thirdly, with the SAC, I don't think that is what Ghanaians are looking for. Ghanaians are looking for a way to have more channels to watch with less prices. It's not about the sacking. Yeah. With the sacking, resolve the issue. If you don't resolve the issue, then I don't think it's necessary sacking because there have been a lot of ministers in that position which have not really resolved this issue. So we saw sacking him resolve the issue. If it will not resolve the issue, then let's look at the root of the problem and resolve it instead of sacking him.
Right. Okay. Great points there. I will go behind and then I'll come back to you. Don't worry. Yes.
So my name is Haruna Osman, a student of University of Ghana.
Right.
So what I want to say is that we need solution, not scapegoats. Yes, please. We sometimes have to be fair that Honorable Sam George is not the owner of DStv, and DStv too is not a governmental, agency or something. It's a private something, so it's about negotiating and regulating.
Yes, were you on the lookout for a reduction, like as in directly? If someone says it's an indirect,
yes, please.
That's what you were on the lookout for.
Yes, please.
So your expectations haven't been met, or it has been?
So for now, as I said, it's about Honorable Sam George negotiating with them.
Yeah.
Yes, and the fact
a bit more than what we have now.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And the fact that he has been able to, if they've not decreased their price though, but they've added some value on the subscription. Subscription.
So that sounds good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. To your right, I think there's someone there who would want to make a point. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Jamila Bagaya from Accra Technical University.
Okay.
I think our Honorable Minister is doing his best to fight for a flexible livelihood for we Ghanaians. Because even when we look at the data bundle issue, data bundle used to be very expensive. Maybe you were working, so you didn't feel it. But we, the students, we really felt how expensive it was because we participate in online classes and all that. We ran out of data. But now 5 Ghana cedis can last for 3 days, and I participate in my online class. But then...
so that's for the online?
Yeah.
That's for the data?
Yeah. But then multi-choice, they are being deceptive to the Honorable Minister and we Ghanaians. So I think our Honorable minority members of Parliament should rather take multi-choice on than the Honorable Minister.
I get that point. That's a good one. Okay, so let's come in front. I think you would make the final point and then I get to my guest on this.
I think the Honorable Minister should understand this principle. He's being guided or he's being presided by 34 million people who are currently serving as judges over whatever he does. You understand? So when we ask or criticize you, you need to create room to accommodate it. That is one thing that he really needs to understand. Because if you are requesting for proceedings, I think counsel is here, so you understand. Definitely, we will give you everything was written in our dockets. You understand? So we will provide it for you. So telling us something different and bringing out something different is a whole two different.
So to be honest, were you looking out that multi-choice will reduce?
No, what I was looking out wasn't a matter of price reduction. What I was looking at was the minister go in, negotiate properly, and try to let them adjust their system to a point that you have a prepaid system. But what happens when the person is not active on channels? That is what I was expecting him to do.
Right.
So if somebody is not active on channels, then it means it stops. The unit must halt. Right. So that the moment he activates it, then the unit starts running. But here lies the case: you are going in for the wrong thing. That is not what we are interested in. So go in for the right thing and let the right thing be done. That is all we want.
You see, some are saying that we should praise the minister because there's increases in packages. Yeah. Now, I would like to draw their attention to the fact that what of those on the full bouquet? That's a premium. What are they also expecting? So it means the deal the minister went in for, they are not beneficiaries of any bouquet. Lastly, you also asked whether he was expectant
there are promos now. You can partake in a draw. You can watch the matches live.
But that is like that's like what's the name? The bet Dostin promotions. Not everyone is interested. Yeah. I'll be the last thing you asked was that whether he was expectant of price reduction. The minister himself said when he was advocating for this thing was that in Nigeria, they were able to push for price reduction, and therefore, but he used Nigeria as a yardstick, and therefore he's also going to make sure that come what may, DStv will reduce. So if he has used that as justification and he's gone in and has come out with bruises, he should just come and admit that he's gone in for a bad deal.
Okay, great. And Lawyer John Darko, I want to start off with you from that point because the minority held a press conference. Was it yesterday, I believe? The call is that, well, looking at what the minister has done, probably should be considering resignation. Well, that's what you say. You say that, I mean, he's not addressed the issues. Yeah. But the majority disagrees with you.
Well, I mean, honestly, Sam George, as a minister, I believe that he has to do better, in the sense that he took up a fight and lost badly, he promised the people of Ghana. In fact, he held press conferences and said that if DStv wanted to increase their package, yes, he's saying it, he likes it, but he doesn't want it. Yeah. Right? He said that, right?
Says he wants a reduction.
He said he wanted a reduction.
In price.
Because what has happened is what he told us that the people were proposing and that he doesn't want it. And it's even, if you listen to DStv, you read their write-up, it tells you that this is even a promotion for 3 months. DStv promotion for 3 months.
They've issued another statement saying that they support the minister, and that will be done in 3 months.
My brother, let's be frank with ourselves. Let's just not kill ourselves. DStv is just doing their promotion. Okay? They are saying for 3 months. December 31st, it will end. So December 31st, all those who have had their so-called increased value will have to now come back. And then...
But it's not automatic, is it?
But DStv says that it ends 31st December.
Yeah, but they issued another statement. The last one says they support the minister, and that after 3 months, there'll be a review.
So before the review, or after the 3 months, after 3 months, we will vet. Before the
review,
before they go for their review, no. But see, after 31st, so 1st January, right? If you take this package, 1st January, you're going to have to come back
to review.
Yes, no, you come back to what you were, your position before the promotion, and then when the review starts and they give you another 2 weeks, then you can.
But they haven't said that in a statement.
But that's what it is.
Okay.
So for me, look, DStv is a private entity. When this whole thing started, I thought that the minister was fighting a particular battle that was difficult because we don't live in a controlled, society, and if you go out there and promise, you have to deliver. I think they are now my brothers in the NDC are now realizing that governance is not a joke. When you promise, you have to deliver, and the people of Ghana have become very, very attentive. They are listening to all of us, the politicians. So when you promise and you don't deliver, they will come after you. And that's what is happening to Sam George. The sad thing is that I don't want to... He's posturing. I was going to use a certain word, but I won't do it. His position is so bad, virtually insulting everybody who disagrees, somebody who wants explanation, telling us to either go to school or telling GES to change their syllabus. I mean, for Christ's sake, you are being paid by these same people you are insulting. And this is something they should really watch. It's not going to help their government. For me, as a Ghanaian, I think that DStv will have to do better with their services. And I think I just listened to something my brother here said. And I don't know how the discussion have been. I'm hearing this for the first time. I think it's a very fantastic idea because until I stop using DStv, right? Sometimes I'll use it only for 1 day.
Okay.
For a whole month, I won't put it on. Right. In fact, sometimes 2-3 months I won't put it my
so it could be pay as you go.
Exactly. And that's something maybe we should be looking at. Right. But you don't go about asking for price reduction and then come out with their promotion, their own promotion, something they had prepared to give to us and present it as if it was your negotiation. Right. If you do that, you are just deceiving the people of Ghana. And I don't think it's right.
Elikam?
In the first place, between the NPP and the NDC, the NDC has governed more than the NPP. So I'm not sure it takes the NPP to tell the NDC that now we know that governance is a serious business. We have always known that. And the average Ghanaian out there who voted for the NDC and President Mahama can tell the difference between him and the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I stopped subscription to DStv, if I'm not mistaken, it's about a decade ago, because I saw it to be a repetition of movies and stuff. The only thing relevant has been football. I'm not a strong football fan, even though my name is Kotoko. I just follow particular footballers. I like Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, skills.
Some of the big names.
And I follow Jose Mourinho. Right. So, and in fact, and especially when we came to power and the president, who is the senior appointer, took a decision to unsubscribe to any form of cable TV at the presidency, I felt that I am bound also as an appointee not to subscribe to any certain, and at the same I wish that all other appointees do. This is a private business, however, and what we lost sight of is the fact that in economics, price is a major determinant of even a product. But when we talk of price, it is not to mean that price change alone is what tells the value of the product you are going into.
The demand as well for it.
The demand is there. Even the value placed on the item, the quantity. So there are various factors that are used to determine pricing. So under this circumstance, yes, I can come and tell you there must be a reduction in price. Why am I calling for a reduction in price? It means that there must be ceteris paribus, things being equal. So the package which is 59 or so of 40.
It's 59, the lowest.
The 59 for how many maybe channels? Let's say 40 channels should remain so. Because Hilta too, if that were not the case, then it means that then there must be a reduction from the 59 maybe to 40 to maintain the same.
Because of time.
I do not see what Sam George has done wrong here.
The minority says
what if he also used that strategy in moving in there? What if he also chose to use that as that was his strategy all about in all of this? Yeah. So you cannot wish, if nothing was done, then you will have basis to say that then he should. And come on, Sam George is the same person who is doing well, and somebody referenced the data that you and I enjoyed. Yeah. And if this was the yardstick for which people were asked to resign, then President Addo, by the time he got to even his second term in office, or the second year, would not have had a single minister to work with.
Okay. Let me give the last take to Dr. Solomon also, so we can wrap up then.
Yeah, thank you, Blessed. I think I've not been following this DStv things,
because it's not even in your choice. I know. But on our side,
what I know,
I'm always online. There are channels you can watch.
What I know is that Sam George, as a sector minister, promised Ghanaians of price reduction, and that's what Ghanaians were looking at. And in doing so, one thing he should have thought of is that DStv is a private company, not government institution. So to call for price reduction, I think it should have been more professional. And then in a dialogue form, you jojo and then you come up with something. You don't act like you are still in opposition. So I think calling for his resignation is unfair because let's take it that it's a mistake, and a lot of ministers commit mistakes. So if you decide that any one mistake, the person should be kicked out, we will kick out all the ministers.
All right.
So let's be patient. Let's forgive him at this point. But next time, he should be more professional in dealing with such issues.
Okay, just before we go, some of you have sent us your messages. This one says, when the president's communication team were calling for the state of emergency, did the president distance himself from those calls at the time? Let's stop what we are doing to ourselves. It's the reason why the fight against illegal mining is a difficult one. This one says, all ideas and suggestions must be shared to help end this social menace. And the last one says the erstwhile NPP government had a plan to stop Galamsey Wahala by organizing and training the youth around catchment areas. We need to study and implement that as well. We should not be partisan on issues such as this. So yeah, thank you all for
Can I say
your
something?
time is up.
For 30 seconds. Something that is very relevant also is education and advocacy, which would need to be intensified. The more educated people are, the better they appreciate it. Remember, we used to watch Captain Planet?
Yeah.
It was all about the environment.
Yeah, indeed. We should be, and your outfit should be doing something like that in the coming days. Grateful for your time.
We're having Forest TV.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. Okay, that's the Deputy CEO for the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko, also the Deputy National Organizer of the NPP, of the NDC. I'm not changing your political party, but I mean, Lawyer John Dako will be welcoming you. I'm so hoping when you come. And of course, Lawyer John Dako is also MP for Swami. He's also the Vice Chair of the Environment Committee in Parliament. And to Dr. Solomon also, who's a mining consultant from the USA, joining us today. Grateful to you, gentlemen, for spending time with us on Prime Insight, and to my audience, as always. For those of you online and in studio as well, I'm grateful for your time. We'll see you again on Prime Insight, but that will be next week. Goodbye for now, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
The Bible is not